It should be fine.
Goodbye, my love. I'll keep this line open until decay. I see
So, I don't know why I'm so nervous to start this video. I've had this planned for a year now. This is the end of the year wrap-up video of all 366 photos that I have taken over this year. I had started a project where I take one photo every day for a year, and this year was all in black and white. Last year, I had made a video that kind of wrapped everything up and explained why I wanted to do it. I don't know why I felt the need to explain why I wanted to do it, but I did anyway. And at the time, I was very proud of that video. I'm like, you know, I made something, I capped it all off with a nice little cornerstone, and I'm very happy about it. And now, looking back at that video just a year ago now, I'm very embarrassed by it. For some reason, I came up with these weird camera angles and horrible lighting. There's a shot that embarrasses me the most, and it's the one where I'm lying down on the carpet, and I lie down next to the skeleton as I have this existential word vomit about time. And it's not the existential word vomit about time from a 24-year-old kid. It's the lighting on my beard that I decided to use, and it turned the transparency on my beard up to like 90.
Either they're going to end up in a landfill long after we're gone, or they're going to end up in a thrift store somewhere for an embarrassingly low price.
Like, I had the light coming from under my chin so you can see it all through. It looks like I don't have a beard. It looks like I taped pubes to my face, and I hate that. So part of this is just because I hate that shot. But the other part of it is, last year I did a recap, and I'm going to do a recap this year. The thing is, though, I went a step further, and instead of just doing a time-lapse of every black and white photo that I ever took, I ended up doing a time-lapse of every Polaroid photo that I ever took, and I didn't realize at the time that would be such a existential experience. I'm gonna roll it back about 10 years and talk about how I got to this point. It all started at a coffee shop. It was my first job, and I fucking hated that job. I applied there. I told them I want to be a barista. I want to make coffee drinks, and I want to look cool. And they're like, oh yeah. We can make that happen for you. You know what they did? They lied to me. They put me in the back and they made me a cook, and they made me make omelets. I still fucking hate omelets. That aside, though, I remember the very first thing that I did with my first paycheck at my first job was go out and buy a Polaroid snap camera. And I can't remember for the life of me what drew me to do it. It was neat. I saw it at Target one day and I thought, you know what, I have to get that. And I still have that dinky little camera. It makes a lovely sound. So little did I know, this little camera was going to start a obsession over photography and poor financial decisions. But what this is a tiny little faux digital half analog camera that takes photos using zinc paper, and I'll demonstrate that here. Where I will take a little photo of myself, and then you get this horrible motor sound. And then after about 15 seconds, you get this terrible little photo. There she goes. Okay, lovely. This was my intro to instant camera photography. I took this dumb little camera with me everywhere. I'm sure I annoyed every friend that I interacted with this little camera. I would run up to them and take photos of them, and I wish I still had some of these photos. I was using this camera in a time of my life where I had a very different friend group than what I have now, and a lot of those people that I took photos of, I don't speak to anymore. We fought over girls, we grew up, we were dorky little teenagers. We were 15, 16, 17 years old. We were dorks. And I ended up throwing away a lot of those images. And I wish I still had some, but I don't. Fast forwarding a year later, I quit the coffee shop job and I moved to a grocery store. Eventually, with my higher wage as a grocery store clerk rather than a not real barista, I found this, a genuine Polaroid camera. And from September of 2016 to today, I was shooting Polaroid photos nonstop. I took that thing everywhere. I took photos of so many people, so many places. I took it everywhere. I'm at the point now where I've counted it up and I'm somewhere around 1,990 photos. And just last weekend, I decided I was going to scan them all. It's just wild to see so much of your life in little plastic squares. I started looking at other people on the internet of what they were doing with these kind of things, and I stumbled across an artist by the name of Jamie Livingston, who was a photographer who started in 1979 and shot a photo a day every day until he died in 1997. Looking at those photos and the idea of just shooting one photo a day for the whole year, it was something really neat. It was something I really wanted to do. So in 2021, I decided to give it a whirl. When I had started this project, I was working at a candy store. This candy store that I worked in was a surreal fever dream.
I wanted to explore the windows and then I touched something. What the fuck is that? What if I just put my hand on? There's one window out of 3, so I'm gonna explore window 2. What the fuck? Yo, they fucking broke my register. Look at this shit. Fucking open cash drawer. Cha-ching, but no pot. Can't have shit in the drawer.
The very first photo of this project in 2021 is a mirror selfie of me in that candy store bathroom. And it's just so weird to look at. This is 3 years ago now. It's so wild to see COVID masks still in use. I was living with my girlfriend at the time, who was living out of a house apartment dorm.
They have a Baymax. At least I think that's Baymax, the big puffy white robot. She had it in that scare.
God, why are you using that lighting? It looks like it's forever.
This is my iPhone 10.
So there's a lot of fun little photos of just mundane stuff. It was a lovely time. I took it and I ran with it. I shot a photo every day for the year. I have 3 photo albums of that whole year. There's one big one, another big one, this wee little tiny one, and this wee little tiny one is where it all went wrong, right? Towards the end of the year, I had misnumbered a photo which had screwed up my entire count towards the end of the month. There was a day where I labeled both days as the same number, so when I got to the very last day and I got to what should have been 365 out of 365, my math was wrong. And it turned out to be 364 out of 365, even though I know I took all the photos. I had taken 365 photos, but I had misnumbered them, and that misnumbering bothered me so much. I had shelved the project. I decided, well, I took a photo every day for a year. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to call it good. And then I stewed on it. And then when 2023 came around, I decided, all right, I have to do it again. So I did it again. This time I was working at a hospital.
Code blue. An engine. Code blue.
It's the don't bring attention to me hallway.
I was so excited because I knew this time I was going to do the number properly. I wasn't going to double number days. I wasn't going to misnumber anything. I was going to do it right. I was going to do it the way I wanted to do it the first time. And I did. And it turned out so well. At the time, I was a phlebotomist, so I had moved up from grocery store worker, candy store worker, to stabbing people. I don't know if I even made it through the first month, but when I had done it again, I had decided, wouldn't it be neat to not only take a snapshot of the day as a photograph, but also an audio snapshot. I would try to record with the voice notes on my iPhone where I was, just a little snippet of sound, and eventually I just stopped doing it because it was so much extra work just to put sound over a photo. But I thought it was a really neat idea, and I did it for a little while, and then I gave up on it. But at the same time, the extra thing that I did was I took Post-it notes of what was going on, and I smacked them to the back of the photos, and I would scan both sides when I posted them to Instagram. And that part I really enjoyed, because I'm not a journaler. I don't journal much, but writing down what was going on those days, most of the time I did a lot of that. I thought that was really neat, and that was a really extra neat way to bring context to these photos, because it was somewhere around the 2023 photo a day project that it had dawned on me that these photos are what I'm going to be leaving behind. Somewhere in 2023, I was hit with a wave of existentialism revolving around this project. It started to dawn on me. It's not just a fun hobby thing anymore. This is something bigger. I am recording more, and I am documenting things. I had just started to notice that this was important, and I wasn't sure why. I wasn't exactly sure why I was feeling the way that I was. I had this weird feeling in the back of my head that this was important. This is what I should be doing for whatever reason. This photo album is all that this person left behind. Come 50, 60, 70 years from now, this is all that's going to be left of me. And it's going to be in an antique store somewhere. And then I wanted somebody in 50, 60, 70 years to be able to find this and then have extra context and know who we were, know who I was, know who my friends were that are in these photos. I want that to be something that's addressed. Let's pause there. Alrighty, I'm gonna interrupt this existential rant with talking about my 12 favorite photos of the year. I decided changing up the location would be really nice for that. 11 out of 12. 12 I'm saving for a planned shot. But I figured I would talk about the 11 that I have. First one is January 20th of 2023, and it's oh no, that's 2024. I mistakenly wrote the wrong year. I've just now seen that. I've had this in my photo album for the whole year, and I've just now noticed I've written down the wrong year. Me and my little brother went out to go visit the frog statue that is up north from where we live. And we had this skeleton who I call Henry, and we dressed him up in a spacesuit. I really liked it. That's all I have to say about that one. My second photo that I have is February 11th, but it's just an empty wheelchair in the middle of the hospital parking lot. Suddenly there was a miracle. This guy got up out of his wheelchair because it wasn't by a parking spot. It was just in the middle of the hospital parking lot. And I just thought that was really funny. Who knows where that person is? Hopefully they're all right. I'm crossing my fingers that they're fine. For March, I chose this photo. It's a spider plant that a friend of mine gave me right after I had a huge breakup. They gave me this pot that they bought from somebody who handmade it in Mexico, and then they painted my nickname Bones on the pot. So I don't know, it's just that plant in that pot when it got really happy and started growing really tall out of nowhere. And the next one, I was really proud of this photo, April 12th. And it's my little brother sitting on top of my car in my friend's driveway. We were all getting together in the car to go to Silver Dollar City, and we got there and Sarah and Harrison weren't ready. So Finn and I were just sitting in the parking, in the driveway, waiting for them.
Rock, paper, scissors, on shoot, the American way, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
And he sat on top of the car, and I got this really good candid of him just sitting there. May I really liked. It's that same skeleton again, and you're gonna recognize the theme probably. He's sitting at my desk, and you can see all the Polaroids of this project in the background, because for the first half of the year I was super unorganized, and everything was just sprawled out on my desk. June, that's Sarah at one of my favorite coffee places. I love taking photos of Sarah. She's so easy to work with, because all you have to do is hit the button. She does the rest of the work. July 9th is the next one, and July 9th I was super proud of. So I cheated with this photo, was taken on my iPhone, and then I used the Polaroid lab to get it. But there was no other way I could have gotten it, because this is a hummingbird sitting still. I've never seen one sit still before, but I got a photo of it sitting still out on my front porch. We have these phlox, these plants with a bunch of little leaves. I think they're phlox, I'm not exactly sure. Some kind of fern or something, but every once in a while we had hummingbirds and hummingbird moths that would show up. And this one day, this hummingbird sat down on the plant and sat still for a good couple of seconds. I have a video of it, it was super cool. This is a friend of mine that we reconnected and then we disconnected, and it's just, that is how it is. When we had reconnected, we reconnected over our shared love for photography, and this was one candid photo that I took of her at a coffee shop, and I love the way that it turned out. For September, I have my best friend Colin. We've known each other for years at this point. This jacket was actually given to me by him. And while this photo isn't the best photo that I've ever taken, it was more about the day that this photo was taken on. He came up to the bar that I used to work at. We started throwing darts, and we started throwing knives at the dartboard.
Yeah, show them it's the scissors. Scissors, forward.
I have insurance. No, this didn't happen.
Knife! Oh, knife!
Whatever we could find, whatever Mel would give us, we would throw. And it was just such a good day. I had such a good time with that. One of my favorites. For October, it had to be this group photo that I took with Dead on a Sunday. But this is a whole group photo taken with the whole band. We're all out there by their van and just having a good time after a good show. I got an album signed. It was great. And then the last one that I'm going to talk about here, because I haven't taken my favorite for December just yet. It's coming. I know it's coming. But my favorite for November was coincidentally taken at this same spot. This is Moonshine Beach, but this photo was taken by a good friend of mine, and it's of me and my brother staring out, wistfully into the ocean, and it's just a good photo. I'm such a big fan of that. So I think that is going to wrap it up for my favorites of this year. It's getting cold, and I think people are listening and looking at me funny. So I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna pack everything up and see if I can make it back up this hill. I didn't fall down this rocky mound, but I almost did. As long as I don't drop anything important, I think we'll be okay. This was a really long, rambly, existentially way to say I took a bunch of photos.
That was great. I must say that I put an awful lot of emotion into it, Bob, and I don't know whether it got through. It sure did. The very last part, of course, was